It's happening, everyone. Rockstar Games left a huge hint accidentally in the files that suggest a movie-themed DLC is going to be coming up next. What's going on, everyone? My name is Ross, or Mr. Boss for the win, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be taking a look at that accidental thing that Rockstar left in the game that suggests a movie DLC is coming soon. So we've been talking about this for a bit, and this actually gained a lot of traction when Franklin from the Contract DLC mentioned that Michael DeSanta was alive and that he was still producing movies when they were driving through the movie studio.
Man, shit, I know one of the producers around here. I hope his ass ain't at work today.
Now, since that happened, there's been a ton of speculation saying Michael could come back, we could make movies, this could tie in with a Cops and Crooks theme. There was a lot of ideas from the community that would be really, really cool. And then last week, Rockstar actually added a ton of movie references with the new job that they introduced, the Vespucci Job remix. They referenced James Bond, Gone in 60 Seconds, Mad Max. They also mentioned a ton of other movies as well, like Fast and Furious. So clear movie references, but we might have just gotten the biggest hint of them all. And this was first discovered by user Rolsha2282 on the GTA forum site, so full credit to him for actually discovering this entire thing. This is what he ended up saying. Well, everyone, time for a real find. I was checking the E&E files, and I think I found something very interesting. Rockstar expanded and enhanced on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S added by accident a scenario. And why do I say by accident? Because the pedestrian is bugged a bit. Now, what is so special about it? Well, here is the scenario data. It spawns in between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. in Grand Theft Auto Online at this location, which I'll actually show you guys some gameplay footage of that happening right now. You guys can see where we're located. Let's actually begin there first. We're actually right across the street from Record A Studios. This is something that will be important, and we'll discuss that a little bit later on. Now, where I'm walking right now is actually where this guy is going to spawn in, which I'll show you in a second. It's in front of this Pegasus concierge building that's also attached to a luxury automotive dealership that looks like it would sell vehicle rims, Buckingham cars, Pfister, Grotti, Enos, and Pegassi. So it is a luxury automotive dealership, which we don't really have any of those that we can go in-game. And it's also attached to a Pegasus concierge service. Now, all of that might be unrelated, but it is interesting nonetheless, because Rockstar typically does things with reason. But anyways, getting back to the actual scenario, between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m., this guy will actually spawn in. And if he doesn't spawn in immediately, if you want to try this for yourself, all you have to do is either walk around the corner or turn your back, and he should end up spawning in. And this guy right here, even though it doesn't look like much, he actually is from the movie studio. His pedestrian model is only found at Solomon Richards Movie Studio. And you guys can see what Rolsha was talking about there. It definitely looks like he's bugged a little bit. As you guys can see, he's basically sitting down in the concrete. It's like he was sitting there and they just poured some concrete all around him and it dried. So he's holding a cup of coffee. A handful of different models will actually spawn here. And he's actually stuck. He can't move. So even if stuff goes on around him, he can't actually get up unless you decide to get rid of him. But that is very, very interesting. Now, what makes this even more interesting, as I know it doesn't look all that special so far, but the model set that Rockstar used, like the name that's associated with the file, is called Movie Set, which is very interesting because why would Rockstar randomly let some movie studio guy spawn there? So I think this is a clear hint for a movie-themed DLC, but quickly getting more back to what's going on here, he gets spawned in the floor, which obviously probably wasn't Rockstar's intention. So what I believe happened is Rockstar accidentally left this scenario in the E&E files as it was intended for the next DLC. He'll probably sit in a chair then, or will be doing something so he's not sitting on the concrete floor. So what Rolsha says is that building will probably change in the next DLC. And since they use the movie set model, it's very likely related with the movie studio. So Michael coming back, maybe. And remember that this scenario spawns in like that on E&E, so it's going to be PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S only. So long story short, this scenario is very likely proof that the next DLC or the one after will involve the movie studio in some way and be related with that building, which will probably be changed and might be our brand new property. So we've laid out all the facts. Now we can get to a little bit of speculating. And just right off the bat, I think this would be an amazing DLC. I think that the movie studio is highly underused for such a large, literally part of the game. Not only was it heavily involved in the story mode, obviously with the likes of Michael DeSanta, but in GTA Online, it's a huge property that we really don't see used all that much. Aside from some various gimmicks and knickknacks like adversary modes taking place there or having to find movie props for Solomon Richards, there really isn't anything that goes on there that's significant. Well, this DLC could very, very likely change that. This is an impressive find. Now, I also think where this is taking place is very interesting. Remember that it comes right across the street from Record A Studios. So I think that in whatever capacity this DLC involves the movie studio, I also think it will be heavily tied to Rockstar's contract DLC. So maybe it will involve the agency or another VIP contract or Franklin or Lamar. So it's a good chance that even if Michael is added, he's going to reunite with some of our longtime older characters too. Now, if this building that this NPC is in front of gets demolished, then obviously this could be a multitude of things. It could be a new property. It could be an expansion of the movie studio. But as it stands right now, it's a Pegasus concierge, which would actually be really cool. And just something I thought about, I wonder if we could maybe have a Pegasus garage after all these years. Because as it stands right now, you basically just call Pegasus and then you have to get your vehicle to spawn in some random location. Now, Pegasus has gotten better over the years as we can now break our vehicles down in categories, but we still don't have a dedicated garage. That would actually be really cool. So maybe Rockstar would give us that quality of life change right there. I also hope that if Michael does return, they can introduce one of the best features of the contract DLC, and that would be more short trip missions. So we'd kind of get to play as single player Michael in online. And what this does is it contributes to the story. It gives us more background. It gives us more lore because we can understand what Michael's been up to over the last 10 years. You know, what's happened to him? What's happened to Amanda? What's happened with Tracy? What's happened with Jimmy? I mean, we saw Jimmy very briefly in the arcade update for the Diamond Casino heist.
When my Uncle Les said that this job was in games, I was thinking more of a esports league, you know, like packed out stadiums and global streaming rights and professional athletes that make millions of dollars, and they look like me, not a museum. I mean, some of these games are older than I am.
Okay, do you want the gig or not? There's a bunch of kids who chopped their arms off, but the boss told me I had to give it to you.
No, I do. I want it. Just tell me what to do.
Do you know how to use a broom?
Wendy!
Hey.
Hey, how's he doing? Actually, don't tell me. Jimmy, everyone has to start somewhere.
I know. This is not how privilege is supposed to work.
Oh, he's a family friend. I give him a week tops. Oh, so, what do you think? We need some more cabinets, a bit of a spruce up. This way.
But last we left him there, he was basically just sweeping the floors and not doing anything all that worthwhile. So would we finally get more information on that? That could be super cool. This is the same, again, NPC going back to where he's located. We actually see him in some of the story mode cutscenes. Michael actually talks to him during some of the missions that we get in game. But this is extremely exciting, and it's kind of our first bit of actual in-game proof of what the next DLC is going to be like. And I think a movie studio one would be fantastic, not only from the fact that we're going to get Michael DeSanta back, but we're going to be producing movies, but it also allows Rockstar to dip their toe in a lot of themes with also not compromising our character. You could technically be a cop or a crook in a movie, and because you're doing it for a movie, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a reflection of your real-life character. So just something to think about right there. All I know is this sounds so cool. And this gets me very excited. And hopefully it is something that's going to be arriving this year. If I were a betting man, I'd say either the summer or the winter DLC, hopefully sooner rather than later. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What are your hype levels for this movie update if it does turn out to be the real deal? I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Or better yet, you can reach out to me on my Facebook page where you can send messages, photos, videos, and a whole lot more. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.